Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Join us on Sankhya Television on the first and third Sunday of every month for Spiritual Journey with Himali Ji of the Himali Spiritual Center located in Richmond Hill, New York. Join us from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. exclusively on Sankhya TV. This program is also repeated on Wednesday evenings after the Yajna, as well as on Friday evenings from 6:30 p.m.
Sitaram, Namaste and welcome to our program Spiritual Journey with Himali Ji from the Himali Spiritual Center right here on Sankhya Television. Himali Ji is a very spiritual, a very enlightened and a very knowledgeable person, and she runs the Spiritual Healing Center, Himali Spiritual Healing Center in Richmond Hill in New York. And for those of you who have been viewing our programs, you can reach them via their WhatsApp. It's 917-499-2613. They have made a change to their number, so please use the new one. And you can also reach them on their email, reachhimali@gmail.com, or you could search them on Facebook. Look for them on Facebook, Himali Spiritual Center. So Sitaram, Namaste and welcome.
Namaste, Shariji. Thank you for having me here.
So in 2020, you know, we're starting off the new year. Everyone is very much anxious about their horoscope. So I know we would have touched on a few of them on our previous episodes, but we're now moving on to Leo. Let's know about the lion sign.
Everybody thinks it's true. It's the lion sign, and they rule, and they try to be the leader. Some of them are too bossy. I'm a Leo, but I'm not as bossy as some of my Leo family members that I know. In my family, the majority of is Leo. So you can imagine that household. Nobody wants to listen to nobody. Everybody's right. They're never wrong. So Leos, unfortunately, are very good people to have friends. They're not cheap. They're very generous. They like to show off. That's the biggest thing I would say about them, male and female. They like good life. They like to be the leader. So that's why they have the lion side. They like to be the leader of the jungle. They are very fun-going people. They don't listen to other people. That's the biggest problem. Well, it's good and bad in both, as we know. They're very stubborn, very hard-headed. If a Leo tells you that this is blue, even if it's black, it is still blue. So those of you who have a husband, which is a Leo, or if you have a wife, I feel the male and the female are totally different.
Who is stronger in
the females are.
In the stubbornness?
Yes, the females are. The guys are a little lazy. They will tend to do things quickly. The males will like to do things quickly. So if you have a male Leo husband or a female, if they tell you something first like this, that, say yes. Don't say no. Okay. After 10 minutes, you tell them what you want, they will do it. But if you tell them straight away what you want and they're wrong, it will never happen. They will do all the power they have to prove you wrong, even they're wrong themselves. And they don't like to admit they're wrong. So what you do, you try to say, yes, okay, first say yes, and then tell them, no, it's not like that, it's like this. They'll say, okay. And they'll say sorry, and they'll go along with it. But if you try to pressure them or tell them that overpower them, that's when they will go into the defensive mood and start fighting.
But what qualities will they have as a...
They have very good, loyal, very honest people to have. They're very hardworking, especially the female. They do not want anything for you for free. They like to earn it. The guys are a little lazy though. If you have a Leo or a Leo ascendant son or a husband, they're very much laid back, little lazy people, in a sense that if they're lying down and the remote control is there, they'll call somebody to come and give it to them, but they won't get up and get it. So when they get into the laziness, that's it. But if they want to do something, they put their mind to it, they do it, and they do it very good. They make very good leaders. As you know, we had two great leaders of America. We had President Obama and Clinton. They were Leos. We won't talk about any other president. But they becomes very good leaders in life. They know what they want. They're very good businessmen in life. If you have a Leo, a son or a daughter, or if you're at workplace, you'll tend to see that they tend to lead things. They do know what they're doing, how they're doing, and they're a little bit bossy. That's the bad part of them. But they're very good people overall.
And their work ethic. They are a strong worker.
They're
They
very
keep in
strong
mind-
workers, especially the females are very strong workers. Their mental stamina is very strong, so they'll tend to do manly job too. Like you see in the jungle, the female will hunt and the male will eat. So the female does work very hard to make. If she's going to get wants money, she will want to earn it and say, yes, I did it. On the other hand, the male would not want to work so hard, but they want quick money. They look for shortcut and quick money. They want to be rich, and the male will love more lavish stuff than the female. Female will, okay, whatever I have, I can get along with it or have it, and I'm happy. But the male tend to have richer taste in life.
But the best sign that the person should look for in a spouse.
You have to see the Gemini is totally not. Aries, they do get along pretty well with Aries people. I have seen Leos and Scorpios do get along too. I have seen Leos and Leos get along too. So you have to see the combination of the other planet, what it is that will go. They need somebody who will adjust a Libra. They don't get along with Libra too much, another one. Libra male and Leo female doesn't get along too long. The Leo females are very independent. They don't like to be told what to do. They don't like to be said what to do. They do their own things in their own way. So Libra's a little controlling, some of the guys. So if they get a lot of dominated male, they tend to have a lot of failure in relationship, female, than the males.
In academics, isn't that they should,
They're very good in the academic. They do really well. They like to achieve, the highest in their school, their work, their home. They're very good. Relationship, the female have more problem than the male Leos.
And what should a parent do to encourage their child who's a Leo?
If you have a Leo child,
they're
they're very sensitive too. So if you have a Leo son or a daughter, please do not yell and scream at them in front of everybody. Take them to a side, take them into a room and tell them privately, don't do this. They will never do it again. But don't insult them because it hurts their pride, their ego. And some of them I've seen, they lose their self-confidence.
And the parent, how should they mold their child in terms of, as you said, you take them across to a different room, but if they're getting that strong, that boldness back to them, what
you do when you have a Leo a daughter or a son is going to be very stubborn and hard-headed. You leave them when they're in their own rape. After, when they calm down, you talk to them and tell them that this is something you will not accept and this is something you will not put up with, and they tend to listen. They tend to act up less at home. They do it more with other people. Like at workplace, they'll be more aggressive. At home, they really tend to be more mellow. But if they see that you did something wrong, then they can fight back. But the heart is good. They'll fight back, and then later they'll be fine. After 1 or 2 hours, they calm down, they'll be fine.
And what do you recommend for them to practice in this year?
I will recommend them. It will be a very good year for them, especially this year for Leos who had good last year. This year will be great for them. 2020 will bring them, if they're in business, they will do really good. They tend to do business by themselves is better. I don't ask them to do it in partnership because in partnership they always have problem. So Leos do business. If you're thinking of doing business all this time, you will definitely do your business. If you're thinking of buying properties, you will do very well in properties. If you're doing investment, you will do well. If you're thinking of changing your career, this is a good time for Leos. If they're thinking of changing their business, it's not a good time. The business they should keep. And they should try to get advice from the loved one, significant other. They tend to, especially male, if you're elderly, meaning you're over 60 years old, Leo male, you should check your heart. They tend to get heart attacks mostly in life. So check anything with your heart. Do not take stress. Leos don't like to take stress. Don't take stress. Meditate, pray, mantras. If Leo goes into bhakti, goes into spiritualism, they do very well.
It has any particular planets that works in their favor?
The favorable planet for them is the sun. It sits mostly in their house, so it gives them, they do little work, they get a big appreciation. They tend to be liked by people because the sun, they're the center of attention. So they gravitate people to them. So people like them a lot.
And what the rising sign for a Leo is it the sun?
It's the sun. And they don't have, mostly they do tend to, I will ask if they could pray and meditate, it will be very good. Mercury will usually, they tend to spend a lot of money. So I'll tell them, try to save money instead of spending money. The female does less spending, the male do more spending.
Because the male likes more
lavish stuff. So if a male has a $10, you will never be able to tell. He has $10 or you will act like $1 million man. So Leos, they love to show off a lot.
Any advice do you have for the Leos for this year?
Please, this year, do not get angry or do not get moody. Do not, always, your way isn't the right way. I am telling this for my own personal experience. I'm a Leo, so don't be offended with my harsh word. Sometimes listen to your family and loved one. And when you are wrong, tell them, yes, it is wrong. It does affect the ego, but it's not about the ego. It's also about your loved one and significant others too. So I advise Leos this year, please pray and meditate and do business, and also take care of your elderly family. If you have an elderly parents, take care of them. They will go through a little difficulties with families.
So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will continue with the horoscope with Himali from the Himali Spiritual Center.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Join us on Sankhya Television on the first and third Sunday of every month for Spiritual Journey with Himali Ji of the Himali Spiritual Center located in Richmond Hill, New York. Join us from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. exclusively on Sankhya TV. This program is also repeated on Wednesday evenings after the Yachna, as well as on Friday evenings from 6:30 p.m.
Sitaram, and welcome back to our program Spiritual Journey with Himali from the Himali Spiritual Center. And we are covering the topics on the Vedic astrology. We are, touching base on Leos, Scorpios. And if you want to have your Vedic astrology done, feel free to reach out to Himali. You can contact her on WhatsApp. The new number that they have is 917-499-2613. You can email them at reachhimali@gmail.com, or you could look for them on Facebook. You can search the Himali Spiritual Center. Himali, the next one we have is Virgo. What is the rising sign of Virgo?
Virgo still in the rising sign for them is Leos. They're still controlled by Leos. So they're very self-respectable people too. You can't yell and scream. But Mercury also rules them. So you probably realize that they're in the castle, they're like very self-respectable, but they like change in life too. And they're very good office managers because they're very neat, tidy, organized people. They're very disciplined in what they do. They enjoy what they do. But there's a lot of change happens in their life. So they either go all the way to the top and then you come back down, and then they work, they go up and they come back down. I have seen with a lot of Virgos, they get a change in job a lot. They will do one thing for like 10 years, then all of a sudden 360 degrees change, and they do. But they do very well with people. They try to get along with everybody. They try to make everybody happy. They try to please people. So overall, they're very good, but they're a very self-respectable person. You cannot hurt their feeling.
What type of work should they start off with? Is that,
anything they do with management, with big corporation, big companies, they will do very good. They do very good in business.
The individual that is studying, any particular field that is more favorable for them?
They mostly, I have seen they go into accountancy or they go into architectural. So you still have to see their horoscope and decide what. I haven't seen them go into the law as a lawyer, also as detectives. So it depends on the combination of other planet, what they should go into.
So which planet rules over?
Mercury still rules them. You realize that we have 12 horoscope, 12 planets. Everybody shares like Gemini and Virgo will share Mercury. Only two planets doesn't share. Cancer, they share the moon, and Leo, they have their sun. So Leo and Cancers don't share, but everybody else has shared the planet, like Aries and Scorpios are ruled by Mars. And Mercury and Gemini are ruled by, Virgo and Gemini are ruled by Mercury.
Oh, so the health for this year for a person.
They're very good, healthy people. They like to keep themselves very healthy. This is a very good year for them. They will do a lot of traveling. If they're thinking of doing religious travel, they will, if they're older. But if they're in their age from the 30 to 60s, they will do a lot of new things with their business and finance this year. They will try to make themselves better and go further. This is a very good year for them. 2020, 21 is excellent year for them. If they haven't made the route, this year they will make the route and the foundation on what business they want to do or what line they want to do, but it will be very good. If you're a little older, you will have little health problem that you need to take care of.
And for marriage?
In marriage, for Virgos, a little difficult. You need to be very faithful to your loved one and significant other, because you could get other attraction this year from a opposite sex that could create problem at home.
And in terms of the people that they should keep around is more?
They're very positive people and family people. They should stick around more. They should not hold themselves back. They don't give themselves enough credit. They tend to hold back and they don't give the full. Give your full this year. Don't hold back. You will do really good.
The family members or the spouse of a Virgo person,
they should encourage them. The family members encourage them to do and make them fulfill their dream. They're very big dreamers. They will tend to dream and they don't follow up with their dream because they have other things comes in and obstacles and hesitates them. So be family love members. Please, if you know your children, your wife, your spouse want to do something, encourage them and do it with them. No. If you encourage them, they will do it very well.
But doing it with them would also give them that extra boost of encouragement.
Yes, it will, definitely.
So what do you recommend for them for doing for this year?
For them, also again, pray, meditate, and whatever desires and wish you had, this is the year for you to start putting your seed down.
Anything else you want to recommend for them for this year?
I recommend them do not, especially make little things into big issues. This year you can do that. They're very sensitive, emotional people. Business-wise, they will do well, so they should think mostly to do business if you're in the business field. Housewife will do very good too. They will spend a lot of time with friends and family, especially their children this year. They're also a very social people too. So this year is a good overall, nothing negative for them.
And finance, should they pay particular attention?
Financially, they'll be good this year actually. They're not a great spender. They like to save. If they have $10, they will save some, keep some. They're very good planners in their head. So Virgos are very good planners. They're very good office managers. They do very good leadership. It's just when it's come to them, they need someone to be there to help them, to push them.
And that's what we recommend that you, for family members to do
yes.
things with them so that they could. Well, what we will do, we will go on a short break, and when we come back, we will continue with the next sign on our Vedic astrology right here on Sankhya Television with Himali Ji from the Himali Spiritual Center.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Join us on Sankhya Television on the first and third Sunday of every month for Spiritual Journey with Himali Ji of the Himali Spiritual Center located in Richmond Hill, New York. Join us from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. exclusively on Sankhya TV. This program is also repeated on Wednesday evenings after the Yajna, as well as on Friday evenings from 6:30 p.m.
Sitaram, and welcome back to our program Spiritual Journey with Himali Ji from the Himali Spiritual Center. Don't forget, if you want to have your astrology done by Himali Ji, you can reach out to them via the new WhatsApp number 917-499-2613. You can email reachhimali@gmail.com, or you can look for them on Facebook, the Himali Spiritual Center. So let's talk about Libras.
Libras are ruled by Venus. So you realize they're a bit like Taurus people. Libra people love to wear nice clothes. They like to dress well, they like good things, but they're little laid back, like they're not aggressive people if they go into business. I have seen Libra, if they go into law, they will do so much better. If they go into business, it takes them so long. They're very indecisive. Shall I go with this one or that one, this one or that one? And that causes them more problem and delay, and they tend to lose more money. They need to make decisions straight away, and they don't. So when they can't make a decision, they're waiting for their partner or somebody else to help them. They do really well if they're with somebody else who's a straight decision maker do it. They tend to do very well if they work with other people. They do very good in a partnership or a group. If they get an aggressive partner, they will do very well. But they're also a very big dreamer, so they'll dream more and they will worry more about other people than themselves.
But isn't that they are easily influenced?
No, they're not influenced so easily because they ruled by Libra, so they like the Venus. Sorry, so they like nice things. They will more like dress well. They will never. You will see a Libra, a person, a man or a woman will come out dressed very well. They like their shoes, the clothes, the hat, the scarf. Everything should match them. They have to be matching. They can't just wear anything and go.
Was it that they're a big spender to get?
No, it depends on them which other thing. They could keep in the budget. They're very cheap people, sorry, a little bit, please forgive me. They're in the budget control. Conservative, very conservative what they like. And they will live within their means, but they are very much like what they do in life. So they're big dreamers. So they'll dream of things that is not yet for them to come. So sometimes you have to have a good wife or a friend and pull them to reality. Hey man, this is reality. You stop dreaming about what you're going to get, what you're going to do in 10 years or next year. Do it now. Think about now.
Well, you mentioned Venus, so spouse and marriage and romance.
They're very romantic people. That's a plus they have. If it's a man and he has a female as his friend, or he has the female as his wife, they're very romantic people. They be in love. If they fall out of love, then it's very difficult for them. But long as they're in love, they're very, very romantic people, and their spouse will never be unhappy, or the other way, the husbands will never be unhappy because she will be very romantic.
What's generally some of the favorable signs that they look for in a spouse or individual?
They get along with everybody. They really get along with Scorpio a lot. They get along with any sign because they're very romantic. So if the other partner gives them 1%, they will give 10%. So you don't have to please Libra men or women too much. Just be kind, be a little romantic with them. They will love that. If you become cold and you keep them distance, they don't do too well.
And for finance?
Financially, they're very good. This year, they will do very good. They're in a very good period. If you're again a little elder and you had healthy issues, you could have health-related problems starting from January 23rd till 2022, because 2.5 years you're going to be in the Saturn. But you have to see where your moon is. If your moon is in Libra, then you're going to have health issues towards the end. Business-wise, you will do well. You need to work hard. You can't be lazy and leave things to be done by itself. It doesn't. They tend to think that somebody else can do better than them. And this is where they have the problem, because if it's a male and he's doing his business, then he needs a partner or someone can push him to do things, that things will get done faster. Now they're coming into a Shani, like a Saturn period, so they need to get things done. They cannot delay things. They need to get things done on time. Female will, however, have little health problem. If they're in their age from 50 till 70, they will have health issue related, and that could be with their stomach. So they have to be careful in what they eat. This will give them little stomach related problem.
The education. I know students that are studying.
Students, that is not going to affect them. If your moon is going to be in Libra, then it's going to have a little bit delay and you might change your field. But students who's going into architectural, student who's going into design, students who's in textural, like fabrics, textures, design will do very good. Excellent is good for them.
And your family life, Libras?
They're very good. The family life, I haven't seen much Libras with too much problem. They don't. By the time they escalate their problem, they're deciding, so things tend to die out. They don't act on the heat of the moment.
Right.
So that's a good thing. Family-wise, again, you need your husband and wife both to see what problem you could have this year. But according to Libras, they should not have problems.
Because they have the Venus.
Yes, they're the Venus, so they're very romantic, very loving. They haven't had vacation for a while, so they should try to do a vacation with family. It will be very good for them.
So the education part of it for elders is that they should, anyone who's going to school,
anyone who's going to school, it is good for them. If they're in design, if they're in everybody is good, but this is going to be excellent for people who are any kind of design they're doing, like textiles, architectural, home designs. They will do very good.
Okay, and what do you recommend for them to practice for this year especially?
Practice to do things on time, like I tell that to everybody, and pray and meditate, which is very important for them. People will always say, oh, they should wear diamond, is good for them, but I would like to see, sometimes they need to wear ruby too, for the because it depends on which of the October they fall. If they're falling towards like after the 15th of October before church, they need to wear a ruby, because according to Vedic astrology, Surya Bhagwan has gone to Libra from after the 15th of October. So it does affect them, so they will need to wear a ruby. It will help them. If it's anything before that, they will need to wear a yellow sapphire. Also, it helps them. They might need both if they feel in the middle. So get your horoscopes checked before you do, but wear which stones will benefit you so you can do better than what you're doing right.
Now, the stones, do you recommend a particular metal for them?
I recommend them mostly in gold. It's only pearl, 99.9 should wear in silver. Everything else, gold or white gold, is no problem. But I prefer them to wear it as a pendant instead of ring, because what happens, that stone has to be energized. So if you go to energize a stone and wear it on your ring, fingers, and you go to a bathroom or drinking alcohol and eating non-veg, the energy of it can die faster. If you wear it as a locket and people are not touching it, it's there, it tends to give you more positive Shakti energy than having it in your fingers.
But should they take it off? Because you mentioned about the alcohol, and so, they... At work,
it's going to be very hard, like,
right.
Let's say you're socializing right
Yes.
now, you're out, then you have the rings, how are you going to take, what are you going to do, you're going to lose it. Have it as a pendant, is better.
Okay, and anything else do you recommend for them for this year before we close on it?
I feel this is a very good year for them. They just need to concentrate on your health wise, I see mostly, and business wise, if they're working for them, for somebody, it's very good. The boss will recognize their hard work. They won't have problem with that. They need to just take care of their health.
So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with our horoscope reading with Himali Ji from the Himali Spiritual Center right here on Sankhya Television.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Join us on Sankhya Television on the first and third Sunday of every month for Spiritual Journey with Himali Ji of the Himali Spiritual Center located in Richmond Hill, New York. Join us from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. exclusively on Sankhya TV. This program is also repeated on Wednesday evenings after the Yachna, as well as on Friday evenings from 6:30 p.m.
Sitaram, Namaste, and welcome back to our program Spiritual Journey with Himali Ji from the Himali Spiritual Center. And we are talking about the very famous topic of horoscopes. So the next one we have is Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Tell us.
Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and they're the water side. And they are the scorpion. You probably see the scorpion. So the reason they have that, they're very good. They don't do anything. They're very calm. But if they want to come back to you, they're very deadly. So if you have a Scorpio, and the Scorpios, they love to have a career. 90%. There's nothing 100%, obviously, it's gone. 90% they have a career. They have to have something. They're practically, they do good in any field you put them in. They're very, very good. Mostly I've seen Scorpios are in medical field. They're into medical field and they take care of their family. They're very, very, man or female, they're very family oriented, very tight. They love their mom, dad, brother, sister, children, husband, wife. They're very, very close. They're very airtight people. Very loyal people. If they tell you they're your friend, they're your friend. If they're not, they're not. I have seen, and Scorpios are male or female, very beautiful. Very attractive people they are. The opposite sex gets very attracted to them. But the biggest fault is they're no good to themselves. They create problem for themselves. First of all, they don't say anything. They keep quiet, and when they do, they say things to make bad for them instead of good. It's like, Sharif, I tell you, can you please move the pen? Move the pen. So it's the way they say. Sometimes they speak up very blunt and the other person think is rude, or sometimes they're in their own thoughts that you think they're ignoring you. They're not ignoring you. And poor Scorpios, what I feel bad for them, they work hard but the appreciation is little. As soon as they make a little mistake, it becomes a very big issue for them. And Scorpios are very dedicated people. If they tell you they're going to do it, they will do it. But they're very moody people. They have to do things in their own way. But I feel if the Scorpio has a very good partner in life, they have very, unfortunately, especially the male, if they have bad partners, it could ruin them because they're very sensitive, very emotional, and it's very hard for them to get back into the track and the relation. And I have seen Scorpio males especially get destroyed by women. But if they have a good partner, they will do really well. They just need someone to back them. So that's why
the support that they need.
So I feel if they can get a very spiritual woman, it doesn't matter what size, because Scorpios are very spiritual people. If they can get a spiritual partner, they will do very well in life because they're very sensitive, emotional, and it's very hard to understand. They could say one thing, mean another thing, and do another thing. So if you have a spiritual partner, they will know how they are and they will just ignore them.
Is the females, do they have the same similar qualities?
No, females are not so, they have very good marriage life. The females tend to have better marriage life than the male Scorpios. And they tend to be more homely and very grounded in what they want. They're very private too. So you will get Scorpio females, they're not going to gossip. You won't find Scorpio female gossiping. They're too much busy with their own husband, their own children, and their own lifestyle than other females that I have seen. So females tend to keep themselves very lowly grounded. If they have a job, they keep job. The Scorpios, because usually Saturn is in Aquarius. Saturn is in his house in Aquarius when it comes to Scorpio. So Scorpio tend to have good career life.
And for this year, their health, should they focus?
Their health-wise, they'll do very well. They're in the middle, some of them, 80% of them are in the middle of their Saturn. So they will tend to have a lot of difficulties moving things. They could change in their job. They could have in their education. But I feel they will travel. Like if they're wherever they're living, they might have to travel and do things, even changing of place for them this year. I'm seeing for Scorpio, especially for student Scorpios. They'll have change in homes, change in the place. They don't like change. They're very fixed people.
And for the finance, would they have to focus?
Finance, they're very good. They never drive. They're very lucky people. Whenever they want money, money comes to them. So financially, they're not a very big spender. Financially, they'll be good.
Very conservative.
Very. No, they're not cheap either. They're good. They'll spend what they need. But their biggest thing isn't money. The biggest thing is to be successful in life, to settle in life. They tend to go mostly in detective works because Scorpios, remember, they like to go deep. It's the water side. They like to go deep into things. They're very good in detective work, like the law enforcement. They're very good in medical field. They're very good in construction field too. They're very good in business too. But I find if they have a good partner, especially the male, they will do excellent in life.
Anything else before we close that you would want to recommend for them?
I recommend for them to pray, and I recommend for Scorpios to wear a ruby. It will really benefit them. If they can fast on a Sunday and give dar to Surya Bhagwan every Sunday, it will really benefit them.
Well, thank you very much, Himali ji.
Thank
And
you,
don't
Shanti.
forget that if you want to have your horoscope done, you can feel free to reach out to Himali ji via WhatsApp. The email address we have is reachhimali@gmail.com. The WhatsApp number, please note that it had changed from the previous one. It's now 917-499-2613. And you could also search for them on Facebook, Himali Spiritual Center. So don't forget to join us next week right here on Sankhya Television. My name is Sherry Singh. Sitaram.
Spirituality is the medium which frees our mind of all emotional shackles and temptations and guides us towards enlightenment and peace. Join us on Sankhya Television on the first and third Sunday of every month for Spiritual Journey with Himali Ji of the Himali Spiritual Center located in Richmond Hill, New York. Join us from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. exclusively on Sankhya TV. This program is also repeated on Wednesday evenings after the Yachna, as well as on Friday evenings from 6:30 p.m.